But Glenn, ultimately it ends in defeat, finishes 1-0 here to Grimsby at Blundell Park. How do you reflect on that at one of the complete 90 minutes?
Obviously there's a lot's gone on in the game, and you have to deal with certain situations, and you go down to 10 men at 0-0, and I just thought, to a man, the boys worked, so well and so hard, and we couldn't have put any more effort in, to the game. And the game plan sort of worked. But obviously, we had to change our game plan. But the game plan worked when we was down to 10 men, and to hang in there, and we knew we'd come up with something. But it was just, it made it more difficult by going down to 9 men, and you sort of got to change your game plan again to just last in the game and not drift, get beat 3, 4, 5, and we really dug in well. And I think you can tell by the way we got applauded off, and the last 10 minutes they're hanging on for how well we've actually done. And we can be a little, we feel really deflated, but we feel really proud of ourselves with the way we've worked.
That late free kick, if Robbie had put that header in, that would have sparked Mims in the away end. But as you rightly say, I think nearly 500 applauded you all off. They really appreciated that hard graft, particularly in the second half when down to 9.
Yeah, and that's all we can ask for. If we play like that, every week, which we have been, and we'll win more games than we lose, and we can't do anything about referee decisions or anything like that. All we can do is just control what we can control, and the boys did not crumble. That's the thing. You can come and you can get the fans on top of you early. Okay, you let a goal in, you can go 2, 3, 4. Before you know it, you're out the game, and we wasn't. We was in the game, and we really gave ourselves a chance. It wasn't to be, but it's not always about this week. It's just about the confidence of how we've dealt with that situation will stand us in good stead for times ahead.
Particularly in the second half, I think you've made 3 or 4 key saves. I appreciate you'll tell me that's what you're there to do, but it kept us in the game. And when it's 1-0, you've always got a chance.
Yeah, you've always got a chance, and that's what you want to do. You just wanted to keep it at that scoreline, and obviously disappointed with the penalty and what's happened with that. But that's out of our control. These things happen. We can't tell what somebody's going to do for a decision, and we can't worry about that. We just got to try and pick ourselves up, and they did. Like I said, we didn't crumble. We picked ourselves up, and we really battled hard.
Ben, appreciate it. Fantastic effort. Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, Glenn, you said you're proud of the boys' performance. There's a deflation in there. How much sense of injustice is there?
I don't want to go into too much details, but yeah, obviously we're a little bit disappointed, but that's, like I said, we can't do anything about that, and we've got to be proud of how we responded to the adversity, on the pitch, and we really did, and I think that's just just shows what we're about as a team. We really just got on with it. We rolled our sleeves up and we dug in, and yeah, we can feel disappointed we didn't manage to scrape a goal at the end, but we gave ourselves a chance, and that's what you can do with 9 men. I think it was Cheltenham come here with 9 men, and it was 7-1. We got blown away. We didn't let that happen, and it helps us with going into next week's game, and I think that's important.
It's obviously difficult when you go down to 10 men after 33 minutes. What was your view of it? Romeo's obviously tangled with their player. What was his view in the change room afterwards?
Oh, look, again, we're slightly. We feel a little bit, not too happy with that, but it's one of those things. The ref's giving it. We can't complain too much. We have to get on with it, and it didn't look like too much in it for me, but he's obviously seen something else, and that's down to the referee, and that's not our concern. All we can do is get him with the mindset of what we did and dug in, and the boys did.
And when you put in such an effort as you did to lose to a penalty, possibly a harsh one on Sam Gale, I don't know what his thoughts are, but again, it feels like you've put in so much and got no reward, got nothing that went your way.
Yeah, and that's going to happen. Hopefully in the future we'll get some decisions go our way. That's football. You feel a little bit hard done by not to have been undone by a bit of play, and it's a penalty, and yeah, it is. We do feel slightly frustrated with the afternoon, but that's we can't change it. Like I said, we can feel proud of our performance, and the fans have come a long way, and they've seen that we put that effort in, and that's the main thing.
Yeah, like you say, is it about kind of almost bottling up this injustice, but also the shared kind of sacrifice and effort that the boys put in on the pitch together with 9 men? nothing going against them, and yet you lost 1-0 to a penalty. How much can that fuel you kind of going forwards?
Yeah, I mean, it's in a weird sort of crazy way. I sort of enjoy those, backs against the wall, everyone rolling their sleeves up, and we, doing it for the team. And I sort of backed us not to let a goal in, and it's it's one of them things. It happens. Like I said, hopefully in the future we'll get some decisions and we can and we can come away feeling lucky ourselves. But look, you could see they was hanging on. Like I said, last 10 minutes they was backs against the wall, and that's all we can ask for. 9 men putting in that effort. We're disappointed, but we can feel proud.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of your saves in particular, the one you saved onto the post, which was ruled out for offside, blocked a couple of important ones as well after that. I mean, you were certainly doing your bit to try and keep them out.
I think you got it. I mean, it's your job. You're a goalie, your last line of defence. But I think, like I said, when it's you're going to be tested when it goes down to 9 men, 10 men even. You just want to try and keep it as us in the game and stay in the game yourself. Make sure everyone's still doing the right things. It's hard because people are getting tired, and you have to keep trying to work and squeeze up the play. And it's not easy. And it's not easy trying to keep clean sheets in this league anyway with 11 men. So when you're down to 10 or 9, it's really hard. But the boys were brilliant ahead of me, and just gutted we couldn't just nick a goal at the end.
Yeah, they blocked a lot of shots today, didn't they, the guys in front of you? Just a word on the travelling supporters, who I imagine are going home feeling a little bit grumpy, but they were so proud of you at the end. That was quite a touching scene. I think almost some of the home fans were almost applauding your efforts as the guys went off at the end. Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure even, like I said, the home fans will appreciate the effort we put in there, and they could see that maybe there was, on another day, it could have been a different outcome. But we've had great numbers travel. I mean, fantastic. They always do. I mean, it's brilliant, and it did drive us on, and you could hear the support. And it was brilliant at the end. It's just, like I said, shame we couldn't have been celebrating a point. But no, it was really good.
Good effort today, unlucky.